Hey everybody, happy Monday. Brandon here. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Welcome, folks that are already in hanging out.com. Good morning. How are you? I don't have the bot on yet, but let me turn the bot on now for you. I'll do it for you. Hey Babbitt, good morning. How are you? All right, .com. Bot is on. You can try your worst. How was y'all's weekend? Mine was, it was good. Had to deal with sort of a raft of sickness that ran through the house and hit me as well. Changed some of my weekend plans. Meeting. No worries. Thanks for coming in anyway. Hopefully the meeting won't last the entire stream. Hey, Robert Tables, how are you? Yes, it's me. I am back from the dead. Oh man. It's not fun when illness sweeps through an entire house of 5 people. That was kind of ridiculous. If y'all hadn't seen or heard, I was supposed to be on the Michael Jolly stream yesterday and had to cancel that last minute, unfortunately. Everybody's okay now, thankfully, which is good, but you know, we're happy, healthy. It's Monday, another great week, so that's pretty exciting. And excuse me, I mute myself to deal with mucusy business. Let's start with some show and tell, because I have some fun show and tell stuff to share this morning. .com, I'm the only one out of a family of 5 that didn't get sick in the past 4 days. You are lucky. Hopefully that stays true for you. Hopefully everybody else is feeling better. Are they still fighting it? Cables. Or is everybody okay? Okay. Show and tell. I have 4 things to show today. This is the first one. Let me turn off the light ring on here. Stupid camera. Maybe that's better. I got overhead lights. So this is too shiny. The silk screen on this thing the solder mask on this thing is going kind of nuts. But this is the first thing that I got. Oh, thank you, Robert Tables. This mat, I love this thing. You can pull up a link. So that'll be the first part of show and tell. This wonderful magnetic mat. Magnetic pieces on the edges, little part boxes towards the top, which is pretty exciting. Ruler, all that good stuff. But this right here is a board that I got on Tindy for it's basically like building your own portable Raspberry Pi Zero-based handheld Linux computer. It was like $10 on Tindy, but doesn't come with anything but the PCB. It comes with the bare PCB, and you have to order all of the rest of the parts yourself, which is kind of nuts. And so there's an outline here for an ILI 9341. Solder that directly with the board, switch, speaker port, a whole bunch of buttons. Basically, this is your keyboard section right here, along with an IC, an integrated circuit that manages the keyboard control on here. And there's your Raspberry Pi Zero on the back, battery charger. I can't remember if this has a ESP32 coprocessor or not. I think it's just the Pi. But let me pull this up and actually show y'all a link to this, because it's actually pretty sweet. So let me go back in here and go to my Tindy. So I got this on Tindy. Yeah, it's the Snap-on Air Raspberry Pi Zero PCB. Oh yeah, Babbitt, you're right. The little squares do collect dust. I need to get like a variety of different things. Yes, it's the LoRa pager with the Pi. Well, I don't know that it has the LoRa pieces to it. But it's from the same folks that do the LoRa pager and a few other different devices. But here's a demo of this thing, so you can see it very briefly. This is just like a little 20-second video, but this is ultimately what you get if you assemble everything yourself. So there's the Pi base board. You see the keys on there, the nice little screen. So it becomes like, the reason I got it is sort of as a little mobile pen testing kind of device. But not bad at all. 10 bucks, $4 shipping. The big challenge of this whole thing is that there isn't a proper BOM for it. There's not a proper bill of materials for it yet. So you're a little bit left to your own devices to source all of the different components like the screen, buttons, things like that. But I highly, highly recommend checking this out. And this will probably be something, I'll get all the components and maybe we'll go through building something like this on stream. It'll be kind of fun. Badwin, I'm trying to make something similar, but I'm a hardware embedded noob and I'm pretty sure that dude is me in the future trolling me. Because it's exactly what I wanted to build. That's pretty funny. He could be you from the future. And if you, Babbitt, invented time travel in the future, I would hope that you would keep that secret to yourself so that you could use that to your maximum advantage. I mean, that's what you got to do, right? Yeah, same guy but different product. But yeah, if you go to this Electronic Tricks, his store, yeah, there's a Pi Zero LoRa shield. Where's the pager that you? I know. Oh, there we go. The LoRa pager. Hey, Frackberg. Good morning. How are you? Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you're having a good Monday. But yeah, there's a LoRa pager version of this as well, which is pretty funny. So yeah, definitely, y'all check that out. So that's item number 1 on Show and Tell. It's item number 1. Number 2, this is also stream relevant, is this beastly monstrosity here. This is a 32 by 64 Adafruit LED panel. Long weekend, Fragment, long weekend, but not the fun kind of long. Yeah, I understand that feeling, totally. That is, I had a long weekend as well. Hopefully it's not because you had sickness running through the family like I did, and sounds like .com is as well. But this panel is, and here's some of the pieces on the back. So it's ribbon cable connected. So it comes with a little ribbon cable here, and then you put the ribbon in the other side. And then each of these is basically the LED driver ICs here on the bottom or here on the back. But what I am planning on doing this, and I've actually had this device for a while, what I'm planning on doing with this is having this be a marquee that sits over the top of the wall of things behind, oh, it's so many LEDs. I cannot wait to turn this on. This is another one we're gonna do on stream. But my plan is to actually take the wall, the wall here, and put that RGB panel, or put that LED panel on top as a marquee. So to do some scrolling text across the top. Will the text be chat controllable? Maybe, within reason. I mean, I'm not just gonna like open up somebody writing text to a device of mine to the internet and then saying whatever you want. Maybe chat I'll allow to control it, but not just anybody. So much trolling for sure. So I'm pretty excited about this. I have used one of these before, a 32 by 32. In fact, let me see if I've got, long time ago, I think I may have posted something like this on my YouTube channel back in the day. Yeah, within reason. Yeah, there's absolutely no way that could go wrong for sure. What? Hold on. YouTube. What YouTube account? I'm signing in as myself. Where's my Hold on. So I wanted to show you all the 32 by 32 version of this because I've used it before. Hey, nice job, .commie. Videos. Question is, will it actually pick up the... Oh, no, I did it. You changed the color. I may have missed it. Here we go. So this is an old demo. This is from 2015. But I did this with an early particle device. So this behind me here is a 32 by 32 version of this panel. It's actually up on my wall. So you can write text to it. Oh, this is a terrible video. So that's actually using a particle, a spark core, like the early particle spark core devices. And then you can do like plasma animations and things like that. The refresh rate is terrible on the video, but you get the idea. So that's like the 32 by 32 version of that panel. And I have that one is 32 by 64. And then with the 32 by 64, you can do scrolling text. So that's my plan. That's my plan for that. So I'm pretty pumped about that. All right, so that's show and tell number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3, I got some. So I'm working on a workshop for a customer. Come on, focus. And as a part of this workshop, I'm actually getting to work with some new Grove sensors. So let me back up a bit and actually talk about what Grove sensors are because it's useful to know. So Grove sensors, if you haven't seen these before, one of the things that's kind of fun about basic electronics is that you're working, or like starter electronics when you're working with breadboards, is that you can work with any devices you want. Everything's wonderful, except for the whole fiddly part of like sticking cables into breadboards. I hate that crap. It is not a ton of fun to mess with fiddly jumper wires all over the place, especially when you're throwing jumper wires in like 20 different pins, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So Seed Studio years ago created this sort of standard around what they call the Grove sensor system. And the Grove sensor module, or Grove sensors, is basically just a standard way of cabling between a microcontroller and devices. So you could do digital, analog, and I2C, SPI, UART, all the different ways of connecting analog and digital devices to microcontrollers can all be done with these Grove compatible little pins. And the way that looks, and I'll hold one of these up to this, I don't know if the way that looks is something kind of like this. It's a 4-port, maybe it'd be better to do it here. Hold on. I don't know why I'm doing that there. The Grove, a device that uses Grove sensors looks kind of like this. It has a 4-pin cable that's actually in a breakout board of some kind. And then the other piece is here like this. You'll notice it's basically just a little 4-pin connector that has sort of the standard little notches on the top. And then it plugs into your microcontroller in a pretty consistent way. And this could be, like I said, digital, analog, I2C, UART, whatever it might be. The piece that really matters here on the other side is having a device that has these Grove compatible ports. And so, I don't know if you can see closely. So this is the Grove shield for particle mesh, right? Grove shield for particle mesh. So any of the new feather compatible particle devices, the argon, the boron, the xenon, this all works. These all pop in here really easily and work just like that. So this provides I2C 1 and 2. It provides UART, 3 analog ports, 2 digital ports, and then basically what you do when you want to use one of these is you just plug it in. You just plug that device into the right place. And so the entire ecosystem of Grove sensors is huge. There's a lot of these out there. I'll copy a link here into Seed Studio. If you've never messed with Grove sensors before, this is a really nice alternative to hand breadboarding absolutely everything. And it's also a really easy way to explore new devices. The reason why I'm sharing this on Show and Tell today is because, hey, Grogard, good morning. Happy Monday. The reason I'm sharing this on Show and Tell is because for the workshop, for the workshop I'm working on for a customer, I actually got 5 new sensors to play with. So I'll throw these on the mat here so you can see. There's actually a fingertip heart rate sensor. So this is a fingertip heart rate sensor device, which is pretty cool. There's a U-Blocks based GPS device. There is a fingerprint sensor. This thing's actually pretty awesome. And this just uses serial communication between the devices. There is a barometer pressure sensor and then a Hall sensor. And the Hall sensor detects magnetic field. So this magnet sensor, basically, this thing is actually pretty sweet. So I'm messing with these for the workshop right now, sort of just building out content, teaching people how to actually use these sensors. And this client is basically doing sort of like an internal innovation workshop or innovation team where people are going to kind of try to build out prototypes with these devices, which would be kind of fun. But we could potentially use some of this stuff on stream as well. Like, I don't know if you know, maybe I should use this heart rate sensor to continually post my current heart rate during streams, and y'all can ask the bot what my heart rate is, or when it goes over a certain amount because crap isn't working in my code, I can just automatically log that. So yeah, so interesting stuff. That's going to be kind of fun to continue to work with. And the growth sensor stuff is pretty fun and pretty easy to work with. All right, final piece. Final thing, show and tell. So I was on vacation in Colorado a couple of weeks ago. The starter kit for Photon is sold out. I might be able to help you out with that, Robert Tables. Let me take a look. Let me make a note to look into that. Oh, that's pretty funny. So this is a silicone. This is not a real hand. This is not a severed hand that I removed from someone else. When I was in Colorado, I had this idea for something I wanted to do on stream, and I'm not going to tell y'all what it is yet. I'll leave that to guess. This hand is useful for figuring out, you know, secret handshakes. That's actually, you know, pretty cool. But beyond that, I have an idea, and it's something that I need to do a little bit more research on before I share with y'all exactly what it is. But we're going to build something for the stream, on the stream, that prominently features this severed hand, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Thing from the Addams Family, absolutely right. So that's it. That's it for today's show and tell. That's all I got. So I'll leave y'all kind of hanging on that last one, but I promise it's going to be kind of fun. That's funny. Yeah, awesome, Robert Tables. Oh, B.S. Calaro. Hey, good morning. Hope you're doing well. And that's a good guess. That's a good guess. I like that guess. The sky's the limit. 2 hand signals for 2 hand signals for build results. What's funny, Robert Tables, is that when I got that, of course, that's an Amazon order because you can buy anything in the world from Amazon. When I showed that to my wife, her first comment was, "Are you going to make it flip off?" Yeah, I mean, it was, yeah. Yeah, she had a very similar guess. All right, so that's it for show and tell. Let me go into my notes and make sure I covered everything. All right, I shared the PortaPi. I'm pretty excited about the PortaPi, the new Grove sensors. I will put links to all of these in my notes when I share those at the end of the stream. It's exactly B.S. Calaro. And forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name, B.S. Calaro. Okay. Who needs friends when you get high fives all the time? I mean, I work from home. I'm by myself all day long. The 4 hours a week that I am not streaming, I have no one. Well, I'm in meetings all the time too. But just generally, the 4 hours a week that I'm not streaming, I'm just by myself in here. So I've got to do something. Absolutely got to do something. I imagine adding that to anything would make for a questionable shopping cart. Yeah, you know, that probably got me on some sort of an NSA or FBI watch list, I would imagine. Why are you ordering a fake can 3 gallons of ketchup in a pocket Constitution? Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. That's great. Name the bot Hi Buddy. Good suggestion. I like this. I'm making a note of that. That's going into my what we learned ideas for next time section, Bios Claro. Naming whatever we build, because who knows what it's going to be. And it doesn't have to be just one thing. Hi, buddy. I like it. And PS Clara, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Just made my Monday. And that's great. Human hand roach holder. Y'all are cracking me up. I will say, as a reminder, that I live in Texas. Not an ideal place for such activity. Not ideal. All right. All right, so now we're on to the good stuff. I got it, yeah. Hey. That's right. I'm a private citizen, comfort of my own home. All right, so what did we do last time? What did we do on the stream? I am in Austin. Yeah, I am. Up in the northern reaches of Austin, Texas. Yeah, you the same? You in the same place? Same place, but you in Austin as well? Or elsewhere? Very nice. We're having great weather today. I was outside a little bit earlier. So nice. All right. So here's some things that we did with the bot last time. The bot, which is actually running right now. So I don't know if the chase command will mess up on me, but I can actually switch to, we implemented a breathe command. Yeah, it was very blue. Let's see if that's going to work on me or if it's going to. I spelled that right, didn't I? All right, so very briefly, for the chase command, what we did last Thursday was implemented support for CSS shorthand values. So let me restart this real quick. Here, in fact, we'll just do this. I'll look at each of the individual commits. So we added the tiny color library, which was .commy's fantastic idea for actually taking CSS shorthand values. So FC0 turns into FFCC00. That worked out really well. So now you can actually do that with, so if I do chase FC0, that actually expands that into FFCC00, changes the color via the bot on the wall. So that was nice. We also added support for named colors, also using the tiny color library, which was really cool. That's actually already been used when .comy did chase Rebecca color, or Rebecca purple, excuse me. So I can set the chase color, and I will set it to, here we'll go to magenta. You see that's actually picking up the color here, passing it in. Still having issues with the bot, not the bot, excuse me, the actual firmware on the controller timing out on me. Which may be what's happening right now. Go through that again. Oh, and I added error handling for the bot. Snarky bastard. All right. And I added some error handling when things aren't active, but chase mode is active. So what? Wow, so there's a bug. Great job, Brandon. Chase magenta. All right. So my point was to share that named colors are actually working here as well. Again, very, very nice. The tiny color node library saved us a ton of time with that. We already had support for the rainbow command, but now there's actually support for breathe command. It's working, sort of running a little bit too fast. Let me make sure where that's actually being implemented. And we did a little bit of refactoring in that as well, because the difference between the rainbow command, which we already had, and the breathe command was just basically a integer that gets passed into the firmware. And basically, you got it. That actually worked on the bot side. I'm just getting timeouts on the firmware side. So let me reset, and then you can do that again here in a minute. I'll tell you when. My timeouts are messing me up. All right, BS Claro, if you want to try either of those commands again, should work. There we go. Cool. It's fun when it works. The problem is that it's only working like once or twice before my gateway device is just becoming unresponsive. It is pretty. It's fun. I like staring at these lights. All right. So then the other thing, let's see if I can actually get breathe mode to work. No, that is not. So this is inside the bot, trigger LED mode, got a failure. So what is happening? Yep. We'll reset and try that again. Okay, so this is just a different, so we actually found a really useful set of LED, and number one on the bottom didn't get the memo. Nope, finally did. That took a little while. So the breathing isn't coordinated, and it's not color control at this point, but it does actually work. Shouldn't time out to be able to switch from breathe to rainbow mode. There we go. So I have some kind of an issue with how I'm implementing chase mode. Base Clara, I am north of 183. Which I know that there are those in Austin that consider north of 183 not to be Austin. And I respect that opinion. I don't agree with it, but I respect it. How about yourself, north or south? Just south. Cool. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, so we added the breathe animation. Those are the things we did last time. Let me go back into my commits here. The last thing that I did, and I did this off stream, was actually to not call the chase function if the chase mode is active. So right, for instance, if I switch over to chase and I pass in, is that a right color? No, not a real color. So if I switch back over to chase mode and I set a color, and then I try it again. Hey, Michael Jolly, happy Monday to you. Hope your call is going well and continues to go well. And I hope that you don't spend the next 2 hours on that call. Those are tough. Speaking of, I have like a 3-hour meeting tomorrow afternoon. Not too jazzed about that. So if I do chase again, and I pass in oh, cool. Well, welcome. I hope you're like I mentioned on Twitter this morning. I hope that your stream yesterday went well. Is this gonna pick up the? Speaking of the Michael Jolly, I got an email this weekend that made me think of you. Did you realize that Twitch just took Twitch Sings out of beta? I have no idea what Twitch Sings is. I just know that I got an email about it. But I felt like that sort of had like Michael Jolly written all over it. I may regret clicking on this link. I mean, I think your stream ought to be at the top of this list, honestly. So I'm bummed we didn't get to do our duet yesterday, but hopefully soon. All right. So, the point of what I was sharing here is that if you actually in the bot call chase, because one of the things that the chase mode does is it actually calls device firmware a couple of different times, right? It's setting the chase colors, so that's actually calling, it was setting the chase color, so it's calling a function to set the mode, calling the actual chase function to trigger chasing, and that was it at that point. But what I added was another call. I added a variable to the controller to tell me what mode all of my devices are actually in. Chase mode, rainbow, breathe, whatever it might be. And if chase mode is already active and you've called the chase command, it's not going to do anything. Or, well, that's not true. So if chase mode is active and you call chase again, what it will end up doing is it'll set the color differently, right? So it goes and it sets the chase color, but it doesn't trigger the chase function again, right? It doesn't call a function that doesn't need to be called. That's good. So those are the things. That is a brief, probably more ponderous to you all than it was to me, but I wanted to reorient myself to what I did on Thursday and Friday, a little bit off stream. But here's some of the things that I actually want to do today. I have some of these queued up. Is I wanted to add handling for invalid colors. Right. In breathe mode, I want to increase the delay because I don't like. So I'm gonna go back to it. It looks more like a flashing than an actual breathing of light to me. So that's something that I want to do in firmware. Increase delay. Right, so when it's in this, it just looks like flashing to me. It's not a nice, well, actually that's not entirely true. On the longer strips, so maybe the issue is on my shorter strips that I actually only have 30 pixels, it looks like a flash. But on the 60 pixel strips, it looks like it's just too much. So I'm gonna do something. I could even slow it down in the longer ones, but I want to tweak that. And then the last thing, and for whatever reason, I keep on putting this one off, but I think today's the day to do it. Is I want to get a proper. I want to in the bot sort of detect cheers, follows, and subs, and in the firmware trigger disco mode. And actually have the lights kind of go nuts when any of that stuff happens. I'm going to tweak that over time. And given that it's already 12:40 Central, excuse me, that probably will take us through 2 Central today. And then, yep. Oh my gosh. Cool. That sounds like a plan. And it sounds like fun to me. Hopefully it will be fun for y'all as well. So let's start with handling for invalid colors. So any place where I am calling, and this may be an opportunity to do some refactoring inside of the bot. So any place where I'm doing something like this, like chase color, let's see here. Okay, so set chase colors. I think this is all happening in the same place. There we go. Oh yeah, so my error handling here needs to be cleaned up. It's not great. It's not great right now. So let me walk myself through this mentally, and we can think through it a bit. So first thing I'm checking for is, and this is anytime you pass something in, right? So if I say chase, FFF. If I say chase FFF, the first thing I'm doing is checking to see if that string that comes in starts with a pound. If it does, then I call tiny color to get the color. If it's valid, then I do something. I return the actual value. I return the value. I don't think I need this. Oh, right. So here's what's happening. Okay. because this is ultimately where it's happening. What I want to do ultimately is clean this up to where I'm not just passing back a bunch of nulls on invalid colors, right? Because what's going to happen now, if I pass in an invalid color, like a color foo, I get an error on line 43. Where's line 43? Can't read properly status code of null. Oh, right, because I'm returning a null, right? This is not what I want to do. What I ultimately want to do is pass an error back and then return true or false, right? So if, yeah. That's what I want to do if I get a null, which actually may work without me having to change anything. Let me just think about that for a second. That may be all I have to do. Except, yeah, because that's the handle error function that's doing that, right? Something went wrong, probably not your fault, but it could be. Error setting the strip color. Okay. All right, well, in that case, I'm going to decide if I like that. I may like that enough to just be done for now. Because there's not really any point in just camping on it if it's doing what it needs to do. Although I feel like... I feel like here I shouldn't throw an error. I could just say, I want to throw an error. It's not really an error. Invalid color. Try passing a color value by name. Hex or RGB list. All right, does client say, oh yeah, I need a target. All right, so we can try that. So now, chase foo, invalid color, okay. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Let's call it done. We're calling it good. So I'm checking that in. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I need to remember to like keep the bot running, do this in a different tab. Okay. So do chase foo. If I do chase drop table users. Oh, what the heck did that do? It tried to do something. Oh, it saw that as valid? Why did it see that as valid? What? It tried to do something. That's hilarious. What did it try to do? Why did it actually pick that up? Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, hold on. I need to do the client say, and then I need to say, just return. Just exit out. Don't try to do anything else. It's an invalid color. Chase foo. Chase bar. Chase. Why does it think that that's a legitimate? Hold on. I'm trying to be funny. So it actually. Alright, so something about that garbage text is causing it to try to do something. So this is going to be false. Does it try to interpret it as a hex string? Hold on. No. Oh, I know why. Because it's doing this business here. Where it thinks that it's a... Oh, yeah, I need to add that. I need to add that to my list of when... So this needs to be verified. Validate inputs, right? Because I'm passing in a phrase with spaces that actually thinks it's my comma delimited list of colors. Because this actually is something we did originally, 255, 0, 0. But you could also do 255, 0, 0 in a space delimited list, and that would work as well. It picks those up as valid colors. Alright, I need to make a note to myself to do this one. So validate inputs as values between 0 and 255. Make a note for myself here. Chase or chase color. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want to do, I added that to myself for next time. So we've done some handling for invalid colors. I do need to do some handling on the invalid list. So handling on invalid list of colors. So the next thing I want to do actually is over in firmware. So there's a chance to do a little bit more here. So we're going to focus on just getting this to work on the first strip. Actually, let's do number 2, because that's one of the, yeah, there we go. Short ones. So for breathe mode, this is what it looks like. What I added the other day was this function to fade in and out. And the fading, where's fade in and out being called? Right here. Oh yeah, and I wanted to add the ability to actually customize that color too. So we could probably try to do that. So pass in color on fade in out. Maybe we'll add that one at the bottom of the list. So basically, fade in and out doesn't do anything to, all right, there's no delay here. So it's basically, all right, so let me re-trigger it. So I think the reason why it tends to be going as fast as it is because it just sets all the pixels and then it just turns them all off, right? Am I reading that right? I think that's right. Yeah, whereas otherwise, if we add a delay to this, so a few of the other ones, like rainbow mode, for instance, I have a delay on that of like 20 milliseconds. And I think I can do the same thing here as well. So do the delay here, and then another delay at the end, and we'll see if that changes anything. Yeah. So that's going to be the one here, right over my shoulder. So let's flash that real quick. You like Breathe, the Michael Jolly? I like this one too. I want it to go slower. I want it to breathe a little bit more calmly. It's like hyperventilating to me. All right. So, the Michael Jolly, that is a great question. There are ways, and that is something that I actually want to add. So, on all strips. So there is a way to sync them all. I need to do a software timer, in order to do so. But that is actually something that I want to add. Right now, so it's me in real life. Got it, Robert Tables. That's funny. Maybe I should sync them up to that. I should sync them up to this this fingertip heart rate sensor that I showed off earlier. And when I start hypervent, like they go based on my heart rate. It's more like emphysema than breathe. Yeah, it's exactly right. It's not great right this second. But I feel like if I can slow it down, then I definitely want to add some, not only color customization, and then, yeah, to sync them up. Off the top of my head, the way that I would probably go about synchronizing those would be, doing a coordinated delay. I don't know. I got to really think through that. Triggering them all based on a timestamp. I don't know. Yeah, I have to think through that, because right now what happens is that they're starting based on a UDP. Well, so there's two things. They're all starting at the same time because, well, not at the same time. They're starting very close together because, trigger them based on time. Yeah. They're starting at the same time because they're triggered by UDP-based messages very fast. The reason why it's different is primarily because of the length of these loops on the 60 pixel strip versus the 30 pixel strips on the side. Even though the top and the bottom are off sync too. So there is something to be said for it both. And yeah, BS Curl would definitely track the path in its position. It would be, yeah, it would be a two-dimensional array. Sync and start at the next fourth of a minute. I like that idea. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna make it out of this. Good ideas from BS Claro and the Michael Jolly on syncing up the breathe animation on the strips. Yeah, because I want it to be coordinated for sure. But I like both of those ideas, both tracking, path tracking, and then also just time-based syncing and starting at a agreed upon time. It's going to require some tuning and tweaking, I think. But I want to do it for sure. Okay. So let me go back into my controller, and if I set my mode back to breathe. I know the Robert Tables, it is like watching, it's almost a little dissonant to see them out of sync like that. It's like watching turn signals waiting for the sync one. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so 20 milliseconds didn't really do much of anything. I mean, so here, let me move my giant melon out of the way. So the one on, as you're looking at the screen, the one on the left is now on a 20 millisecond delay. It's slightly slower than the one on the right, which doesn't have the 20 millisecond delay. But it's still too fast. So this is how I roll in my embedded projects. I tweak slightly, I flash firmware, I wait. Wait for flashing to happen. I retest. So when it comes back online, there we go. That blue flash is the sign. That's how I know that the device is restarted without me having to check the console on an individual device. It's still too fast. In fact, now I'm trying to wonder, or now I'm trying to decide if it's even changing at all. Am I doing something wrong? Let me make this obvious and add a 1000 millisecond delay. Might be about time for a quick stretch break. The Michael Jolly feels so accomplished today. I made my first PR to an OSS project that wasn't simply documentation. Actual code change on Twitchbot. That's awesome, the Michael Jolly. Will you share a link to that? That's great. Congrats. I know that feeling though. I've done that a few times, but recently when we worked on this on stream, we made that PR to Suze Hinton's Electric IO. It was so cool to like get that working and to submit it. And then to have her like, she was so like gracious and appreciative, and to have it like reviewed on her stream and everything, like I just like had all the feels. It was like so many feels all at once. The feels were great. It was cool. Color red is the design equivalent of console log. That's right. That's right, Robert Tables. But yeah, congrats, Michael Jolly. That's awesome. All right, let me try running this again, and I'm going to take a quick stretch. And welcome back, .commie. Hope the call went well. All right, so now the delay is obvious. So somewhere between 40 milliseconds and 1 second is my sweet spot. So maybe I was being too conservative, and I need to go down to like 200. Well, I did add some sound clips and some code changes to one of C# Fritz's projects, but as far as libraries used by others. Oh yeah, to Clarkeo stuff, that's awesome. Oh, Robert Tables, I bet. And that's an awesome PR. I don't think I saw that one live, but that is a really, really cool PR. You containerize all the things. Cloud Flash again. I was on Clarkeo's stream on Friday morning for a bit, and y'all were cracking me up with all the different sounds. I absolutely love it. That's a great way to start a Friday on Clarkeo's stream. 100%. Am I back? I think I may have missed the flashes. I was looking at something else. Okay. Move out of the way, Brandon. Still too fast. I am really, really, really being probably overly anal about this, but I have a hard time with this kind of stuff because I cannot stop myself from like making like one more tiny little tweak where it just doesn't feel quite right. And I'm not a designer by background. Like I don't have the patience to do design work, and yet somehow with electronic stuff, I cannot stop tinkering. I cannot stop tweaking and changing and trying just like one more thing to see if I can fix it. Fair point, Robert Tables. As a human, I cannot exempt myself from design, but I can try. No, and that's a valid point. I have spent a lot of time this year thinking about the design of my working spaces and trying to be more intentional as opposed to just scattering crap everywhere in my office. And so far, it's been really good. It's actually helped me a great deal to think more, to be more sort of clean-minded about my working spaces. All right. So I'm gonna set the mode again. That's not bad. Marie Kondo Electronics Edition. Well, so there actually is a book that I read earlier this year that really, really changed my perspective on these things. I'm going to copy the link because I'm not going to open up my Amazon homepage, but that book is pretty fantastic when it came to sort of changing, because the problem that I ran into with electronics when I got into the world of doing like tinkering electronics, and then when I joined Particle, was I would have devices. Like I have a pile of like this boron and these Grove sensors, or I would have like a badge that I'm doing, or PCBs, or the Brew Buddy, or this or that. I had all these different projects, and they were all just in these piles all around my desk, and it just got worse and worse and worse over the course of the last year. And when I read that book, I sort of came to this realization that I needed to be more intentional about when I worked on a project, that I would get out the things for that project, I would work on it, and then I'm done, that I would put those things away. And then it not only applies to like code editors and consoles and the things on my digital desktop, but the things that I actually got out to work on. So when I'm working on an electronics project, now what I do is I have, and this is the Marie Kondo piece of this, I have project boxes, and a lot of them are just cleared small Tupperware containers or Rubbermaid containers that all those things go in. And when I work on the project, I pull those things out. I mess with that stuff during the time that I have booked on my calendar, and I book the crap out of my calendar now. Like my entire day is planned out on my calendar now. It's probably a bit overboard, but it's really working for me. And I work on the thing during that block, and then when I'm done, I put all those things back in the bin, and they go back behind me in another place. They don't stay on my desk. There's not a ton on my desk right now, and at the end of my day, everything goes away, everything's in its proper place. It is like super anal, but it's really, really working, and it's cool. Yeah, Robert Tables, that's exactly what happened. So like my office over the last 4 or 5 years has just exploded. It's been ridiculous. And you lose fewer things for sure. The bins are great. Yeah, Robert Tables, thank you. That's so kind. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's been huge for me, because I feel like I would be going, like last year, I went nuts a few different times because all of my projects were just bleeding into everything, and I had to absolutely change it. Frackberg, I used to be much more organized, but I married a woman that has the any flat surface problem. When it comes to like decluttering in the home, my wife and I have gone through a lot of this stuff as well, because we both kind of tend to do the any flat surface thing. But we have tried to be very intentional and mindful about being better about it. It's not easy for sure. .com, get clone desk. That's exactly right, but it's like for me, a piece of the electronics project is I open up my editor, open up my VS Code project. I open up my console windows. I open up tabs for things like the Particle console, and then I pull out the project. I pull out the stuff from my desk, and I go from there. And that's really nice. It was really easy to just give up. I totally get that. I totally get that as well. Hey, Dead Pixel, I wonder how Marie Kondo would handle a makerspace, right? It's a good question. So I know what she would do, having watched like half of the episodes in her Netflix documentary. And by the way, Dead Pixel, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy Monday to you. Thanks for coming in and joining today, and for chatting. That's awesome. I feel like she would very kindly, like she would have this look on her face like, I'm horrified right now, but I'm not going to let you see it. I'm just smiling, continuing to smile, and through my translator saying that, oh, this space is very interesting. And then she would pull out the clear bins. The clear bins are absolutely the way to go. There is a My favorite makerspace is one in Oslo, Norway. See, y'all derailed me with this because does the capacitor spark joy? It sparks something when I charge it and touch you with it. Frankfurt, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Robert Tables, I have 0 ohm resistors and 1 million ohm resistors. I'm so confused. So the Bitroff makerspace, and I feel like I've probably talked about these folks on stream before. I don't know if the images here will do it justice. They're very well organized. They probably are not gonna. That's all right. There's not gonna be pictures of their space, but they have done an amazing job over the last couple of years, from what I've seen, to really organize their space from materials to everything. Because yeah, I mean, just like our spaces at home can become crazy, but think about when you add 100 other people to a space and it just becomes this explosion of like, well, I'm working on this thing, I'm just going to leave it here, I'll be back tomorrow, or I'll put it in a bin and just throw the bin wherever. It's kind of nuts. But yeah, Dead Pixel, I like that. That's an interesting question. Interesting to see. And yes, this space is interesting. Is definitely her equivalent of set off a bomb. Oh, Dead Pixel, thanks so much for following. I appreciate it. And thanks for chatting as well. Happy to have you here hanging out today. Frackberg, you may not have been around on the stream that I was talking about playing capacitor tag with schoolmates. No, tell me more, because that sounds awesome. And please tell me someone has recorded a video of this. Like if I do a search for capacitor tag, would I find something? Probably something boring. Like, yeah, capacitor markings. No. Fragberg, I think this has to be... Please tell me someone has a video of this somewhere. I'm going to stop searching because I'm a little scared, but I want to hear more about this, Fragberg. All right, so 300 milliseconds is where we're at with the delay right now, and I'm pretty happy with it. Are y'all? Should I? Oh, see, this is my problem, because now I'm thinking like, okay, 400 might be just right. 300 is okay, but I'm not, because I don't want to go in. I want to, like, I'm going to flash all 4 of the devices, and I want to do it. I don't want to do it until I'm happy with the way it is. I grew up before everything, so there was no video evidence? Fragberg, now you're saying before everything was recorded on smartphones and stuff, right? Because Carl, my physics teacher in high school used to charge them up and toss them at us in class. God only knows why our reaction is to catch things. You had the best physics teacher. My physics teacher was so lame by comparison. Oh my gosh. I went to the wrong school, y'all. That is such, and you remember it all these years later. I barely remember anything that I did in physics class. P.S. Calaro, that's really funny. I couldn't smell. Fragberg, we tore apart a bunch of disposable film cameras, charged them, and threw them at each other. It was all good until we got a teacher. Teachers. I love these stories, y'all. Yeah, this is great. Dead Pixel, I used to torment my siblings with those disposable cameras when they were empty. 600 volt capacity. Oh, man. Y'all are, what is the word? Sinister. I love this. This is so sinister. All right, so now I have a problem because I feel like feel like I'm kind of overthinking this. Evil. I didn't want to go all the way to evil. But that's pretty funny. You know when it's coming because it makes a very distinct charging sound. Oh, yeah. Is it set? Oh, golly. You know what, y'all? I think if I change where the delay is, I can fix this. And then really, really reduce it. Because what's happening... Not that. I want to go back to this 20 millisecond delay, but I actually want to do it when the lights are coming on and going off. Because right now what I'm doing is I'm just delaying after the entire animation completes. But if I make this really short and then I spread it across, because what's happening is the colors are sort of being set over time. But that delay is kind of high for 256. So let's see what happens here. Why not? Why not? This is what we do. We try things and see what happens. Fragberg, for about 3 months, passing periods in high school were electrifying. I'll start singing the Grease soundtrack here. Thinking back on it, I'm honestly surprised we made it that long without getting in trouble. You know, it horrifies me as a parent to think about the amount of the things that I got away with when people weren't paying attention. You know? Just frightening. So what's that going to do? 10 milliseconds is too long, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Well, actually, maybe it's not, y'all. Let's ponder this together for a moment. Ponder the breathing strip right there. What do y'all think? See, that would look so good if they're all synced up. I'm gonna just try this at 5. Yeah, if they're synced, that could look really good. All right, hold on. BS Claro, I'm looking at this. I opened the YouTube video and another. Ooh. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll pull this in. Oh yeah.
So it's working fine. And now I want a way of triggering it. So we'll trigger by itself. And I'm thinking a neon may do that. So hopefully when that gets up to the correct voltage, it will. And then the neon will switch on.
Oh, so good, so good. Okay, all right. Fragberg. Oh no, Robert Tables, I need to take my bio break. Y'all, thank you for keeping me honest here, because yeah, I do. Fragberg, I'm 5 years older than my younger brothers. I was pretty much left alone as long as I wasn't getting in trouble. I got away with so much more than my younger siblings did. All right, yes, very brief bio break. I will be back in 60 seconds. Y'all hang out, and we're gonna try getting these lights to breathe again. I should add the light wall to my BRB screen. We'll do that later. Hold on. No. I gotta make a note and then bio break. Add wall to BRB. Okay. Yes. Well, not 60 seconds. All right, fine. So 2 minutes. We'll be back. 2 minutes. 120 seconds. I'm still alive. I get after dinner minute. I'm back. Okay, so I shortened the delay to 5 milliseconds, and I like that. I think that's pretty good. Fragberg, part of me wants to say that that was a Monty Python reference, but I don't know that I would like bet the farm on that. So tell me whether or not I'm right. Robert Table's got the reference. I don't know if I did or not. So you have to tell me. Sweet. I love it when I get references to things. I feel cool. All right, so we're gonna flash the other 4 strips now, which unfortunately right now requires manual because I'm dealing with mesh pub sub for the chases, and I'm also dealing with the differing links in the NeoPixel strips, but this will only take a second. So strip 3, flash, cloud flash. Mr. Creosote. Yes. Okay. Squirt Vonnegut, that's a good question. Oh, I forgot to change the number of pixels. This is pixel 60. See, I messed up. And welcome, Squirt Vonnegut. Happy Monday. And I really like your handle. As a person who read almost every Kurt Vonnegut book I could get my hands on as a kid, I love your handle. All right, let's do breathe on the top one now. Just test it out. Yes. Happy with that. Happy with that. Fragberg. You've never read any of his books, and that's okay. It's totally okay. There's a whole lot of stuff out there I've never read. I recommend his books very highly. I was a big fan. All right, let's flash this one now. Robert, looks like my Procter & Gamble stock would do well. I forgot that the Kurt Vonnegut Library was in Indianapolis. That's right. It'd be a cool place to visit. Yeah, we read Slaughterhouse-Five when I was in high school, and then I loved that book so much that I just went and read everything else I could get my hands on. He was a brilliant, brilliant writer. Sharp as hell. All right, so I just did number 3 also, or number 4, excuse me. Cool. So let's go loop back around and do number 1. I gotta change a few things here. Fahrenheit 451. I was actually talking about that book with a friend last night, and Lord of the Flies, I didn't love Lord of the Flies. It was one of those books that I had a different feeling about than most of the other people that read it around the same time. Animal Farm, I liked, but nothing compared to 1984. 1984 is just, man. And you read it on your own a few years ago? I can't remember if we read 1984 in high school or not. I read it then, but I can't remember if it was like a school assigned book or if I read it on my own. But I agree, it is legendary. Yeah. You know what, Frackberg? I did that with a few books. I did that with Huckleberry Finn when I was in high school. I hated Huckleberry Finn. Mark Twain. I mean, Kurt Vonnegut was cut from the same cloth as Mark Twain, but yet for some reason that book just did not work for me. Didn't resonate. I read it again later. Let me say, I love this because on Thursday we were talking about Beverly Cleary and all of her awesome books, and she turned 103 on Friday, by the way. I don't know if y'all saw. I know .com did because we talked about it on Twitter. But Beverly Cleary turned 103 on Friday, which is pretty awesome. She's a national treasure. Frackberg, I got a B in that section of that particular English class. After not reading Lord of the Flies, you still managed to get a B? All you have to know in order to know Lord of the Flies is that like people are basically awful when you leave them on a desert island, regardless of age. That's it. And Robert Tables, in all fairness, you could have skipped reading 1984 and just waited till now where you get to live the movie. Speaking, I don't know if I want to make this recommendation or not. I will say this and then I'll just leave it alone. My wife and I watched the movie Vice this weekend. Highly recommended. I'll just leave it at that. Watch it. Slightly horrifying. I mean, it's a movie. It is still a piece of fiction, but watch it. It's interesting. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so now breathe. Everybody breathe. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's Frackberg, I read a lot when I was in high school. I miss having that much free time. Yeah, I miss having that much. Yeah, for sure. Robert Tables, you know what's funny is I'm going to out myself as a strange person. I have never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones. And it's not because I don't have HBO now. I watch Silicon Valley like the second that the episodes drop. But I've just never watched Game of Thrones. I tried watching Westworld and I got 3 episodes in the first season before I was like, I don't know. But I'm sure that spoilers will drop way, way too soon. I'm not going to give you all any spoilers. This is a Game of Thrones spoiler free stream because I know nothing, absolutely nothing about the show. Haven't read the show, haven't watched the show, haven't read the books. That is an area of popular culture that I am a complete and total mindless. I know nothing. You didn't watch it yes, this is a Game of Thrones safe space. We'll not talk about any of that stuff here. Frackberg, you don't watch TV shows when they air. We usually don't either. There's a few, in fact, there's not a ton of shows that we will watch. There's a few. Silicon Valley definitely being one of them. In fact, do y'all know when the next season of Silicon Valley comes out? Does anybody know? Now I feel like I gotta go to Twitter. Silicon Valley season 6. Final? What? Oh, not until 2020. Man, I'm so bummed because it's usually like this time of year. Silicon Valley Season 6 releases on certain show may get canceled. Oh, now I'm gonna bum myself out. That made me so sad. Oh, man. I'm having a breakdown right. This kind of bumps me. This is like one of my absolute favorite shows. I'll have to go back to that later. Frackberg, you know what really grinds my gears? The 190 things you missed in the insert movie title 20-second teaser. Although, hey, speaking of which, did y'all watch the Star Wars trailer? That's surprising. Well, I guess some people expected it, but that was fun. I really like the teaser for the Rise of Skywalker. Pretty cool. Clip, Robert Table's clip. You just heard a man die on air. I was not expecting to open that search result to tell me that not only may it not be coming till 2020, but it A, may be the show's last, and B, perhaps it'll never air at all. Oh. Okay, well, Frackberg, you don't want... I mean, I can't... The trailer was good. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I was a little surprised to find out that, like, Rey dies before the movie... before the movie even takes place. I can't do it. I'm sorry. No spoilers. I won't talk about Star Wars at all. I try to do the no spoilers thing, Frackberg, but I have a hard time because I'm sorry, I totally deserve that. I didn't really give you anything away. I promise. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Frackberg, please forgive me. I didn't mean it, I was just kidding. And you stopped watching Silicon Valley in the middle of season 2. Did you not it didn't do it for you? Didn't enjoy it? Which is fine. I totally get it. Hello, darkness. My old friend plays soft in the background. Actor talks upbeat about another franchise. Yeah, Frackberg, I would deserve that if you unfollowed and unsubscribed, as Robert Tables just suggested. I hope that you'll give me another chance, but I deserve it if you don't. All right, let's actually let me get back into firmware here for a second, because this is done. Feel pretty good about where breathe mode is. And then I think we'll we'll do the disco mode here in the next few minutes. Add. Add delay to breathe mode. What's the one on that one? Number 15. So Frackberg, I don't blame you. I'm not worried about it. I'm more worried about the part where I probably won't see Star Wars until a week or two after it opens up. That's like the existential crisis I have every time a new movie comes out, because yeah, before we had kids, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna see a movie on opening weekend. Of course we're gonna see a movie on opening weekend. And now it's like, I mean, there's a period a few years ago when my kids were really little where about 90% of my movie watching took place on international flights between the US and Europe. A, because I was going to Europe too much, and B, because it was the only chance that I had to sit down and watch movies. We just weren't doing it otherwise. And so I totally get that. And now it has to be like this scheduled thing. I have not seen Captain Marvel yet, and I feel like I can't go see Avengers Endgame until I see Captain Marvel. But I really want to see Endgame, but I don't know when I'm going to see Captain Marvel, and I don't want to wait. I don't know. E.B. Lou Daddy, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hey there. I cannot read the things you're saying in chat. I do appreciate that you're in chat and saying hello, I presume. I hope you're having a great Monday. Beginning to wonder if maybe you are spamming my channel. I don't know. But hey there, welcome. Frankfurt, also it's a solid $80 to take my family. Oh yeah, so we don't even take all the kids. We did take the boys to see the last Star Wars movie, but they haven't seen any of the Marvel movies. So it tends to be sort of like my wife and I have to like arrange for her parents to watch the kids, and then we kind of do it that way, right? I don't know. All right, what is this warning for? What the heck did I push? Huh. All right. Did that push work? I just got a warning. It didn't fail. Okay. Hard to tell your 13 and 6-year-old that they don't get to go see Star Wars because Dad is cheap. So my kids are still a little bit younger. My oldest is only 10, so I haven't had to fight that battle yet. But I can see that's a tough one, Frankfurt. You're right. But I'd be the same way, and it's not cheap. I don't think it's cheap to not want to spend $80 for like 2 hours of entertainment, you know? Like we didn't end up taking my kid, when we went to Colorado a couple of weeks ago, we didn't take my kids skiing because it's ridiculous. It's insane how expensive it is to go skiing now. So, and I didn't even know if they're gonna like it. And I wasn't gonna pay $170 for a lift ticket. That's how much they are now. Plus like $100 for gear, plus another $70 for ski school to have my 8-year-old say 30 minutes in, this is boring. I just wanna like go eat snow. So, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on being thrifty. Totally get it. I totally get it. I've been telling them to get jobs since they were little. There you go, Robert Tables. I'd rather get them into mechanical keyboards. Absolutely. Yes. Or electronics. Any kind of electronics. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money, like I would rather just like teach the kids like CircuitPython and build them little Linux machines and do all kinds of stuff. Ski school, is that like learn to fall without dying? Something like that. Something like that. Maybe if you're snowboarding. I don't know. All right. So disco mode and firmware. That was the other thing that I wanted to do. Was actually pull in some of these pull in one of these samples from the other day and see if we could find something that would be a nice equivalent for like a disco animation that would fire anytime there's a sub or a follow or anything like that. So let me actually go to my LED effects. Fire. I can't remember if I like the fire one, strobing. Let me go back to this. Here, hold on. Robert Tables, my kids can't not shut their fingers in doors and stuff. I don't trust the control fall down the side of a mountain. See, same. That's kind of the challenge that I've got. Like, I am not an athletic individual. My wife and I have not produced athletic children either. So, like, we enjoy these things, but yeah. We'll just leave it at that. Hey, James, welcome. Happy Monday to you. Thanks for jumping in. Good to see you. Doing great. We're doing great. Kind of nearing the end of the stream here, but we've had a productive one today, and as usual, talked about some fun stuff, some of which is not even remotely related to what I'm working on, but that's more fun than if we just stayed on topic the whole time. Sorry, I need to pull up a tab here, but I want to actually find it instead of showing you my entire pocket reading list. Where the heck is it? Frackberg says the guy that used to jump off two-story houses to demonstrate falling properly to skydivers. Is that true, Robert Tables? This is a story about you that I don't know that I've heard yet, huh? That's right. So James, that's Robert Tables summed it up. We're having a TED Talk on genetics, 1984, and the future of personal finance. That's right. And let me tell you all about this wonderful new cryptocurrency that I'm starting right now. And you have an exclusive opportunity today at 1:43 p.m. Central Time to be the first people that buy into my ICO or initial coin offering for Panda Coin. So please, you're here. You want to be a part of Panda Coin. It will change your life for the better, I promise. That's all I could do. I'm sorry. I can't keep that going. That's all crap. I gotta go back to chat. Or maybe I shouldn't. I had a late one at work, so I missed the start. Couldn't get the interop with Heck and Chips. Absolutely. We should create our own little currency exchange. Convert your Heck and Chips into Panda Coin. All right. So what I really want to do. Hold on. Is this the right one? Heckin' Pandas Exchange. There you go, .com. What is that? You got the... Oh, I didn't realize there was an Illuminati emote. I love that. All the great emotes. I'm still learning the Twitch emote world. Oh my gosh. Wait, where are the... Okay, this is the article. I'm just trying to find the right, or this is the site. I'm just trying to find the right version. Oh, here we go. So these are the sketches that we found on Thursday, or the of the different light strip animations that I want to add here. So I want to find one that sort of evokes the somebody just cheered or subscribed or followed the channel. Frackrick, I'd have to quit gamble all. Hey, one of my favorite things to do on Robert Table's stream is to gamble all of my Heck and Chips. I haven't learned my lesson. And it makes me laugh when I lose them all too, for sure. Hey, there we go, James. Absolutely, why not? I mean, spread your investments across as many different as many different cryptocurrencies as you possibly can. Okay, strobe light. Is strobe light the one that I was? No, God, no. That's no. I don't know if y'all remember seeing this one on Thursday, but I really like the Cylon effect. That's a good one. I might have to snag that one. There's a kit one, which is pretty cool. No, Twinkle's not it. Sparkle may be the way to go. Yeah, Dogecoin is the future. Yeah, that's right. Get a loan, James. So you get even. That's right. You'll pay it all back. Running lights. That's a nice one that I want to add somewhere, but not quite. Too slow, too slow. Give me Theater Chase Rainbow Fire. Oh, I think maybe Fire was the one I was thinking about doing. Because it looks really good diffused. So I think Fire is the way to go here. So that's the one that I want. Yeah. So let's see if we can add this one in. We probably will need to finish it on. No. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So ultimately the interface, or the function I'm going to add is fire mode. So we're going to make this, this is going to be mode number 7. So mode 7 is fire. Is there an epileptic seizure mode? There could be. Maybe that's a feature. That's something we can add. Oh, I gotta clean that up. Keep saying this to myself. Else if animation mode 7. So that's it. Fire 55, 120, 125. Okay. So what does fire do? Cooling, sparking, and speed delay. Okay, cool. These are the number of LEDs. Yeah, I like this. This I think will be really cool. Set pixel heat color, so I'm gonna need that as well. All right, so let me pull this out. Fire burns. It does. All right. So let me see if I can actually manage to pull this in and get it running. I'm gonna have to fade in out. No. So pull it in and get it running before we gotta actually in the stream for the day. Magnificode, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a great Monday. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Feel free to ask questions in chat, make comments, say hey, or just keep on lurking. Absolutely happy for you to do either. And then the last piece, set pixel heat color. And I think I'm going to try to compile this, but I know I'm going to have to make some changes like I did last time. So let's run this. Let's try to compile locally really quick and see what wonderful errors that I get myself. What? No such file or directory. What? That's a new one. No toolchain installed. I don't think so. Particle, where is it? Install local compiler for the O9O. Reinstall the toolchain. Yeah, please. All right, well, while that's going, I'm fairly certain that I need to come in and... So when I did fade in out, I had to make a couple of changes here to... Oh, it was in set all. Yeah, strip, set pixel color. I think that was the thing I wanted to pull in. Yeah, so this is what I'm change here. Set pixel color. All right, so that should do it. And then the other, I noticed there was this hard-coded number of LEDs. I don't think I have that. It's pixel count. Here, let's just do this. Anywhere. Replace num LEDs with pixel count 4. That's it. All right, cool. So that should be enough to. What device am I on here? Number 1. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna try flashing and see what happens. Fail, and my local compiler is not helping me right now. I'm waiting for it to install. I'm not getting anything here. Oh, there we go. Let's try the local install again. All right, there we go. Error. Show strip 422. All right. What was show strip here? Oh yeah, strip, just strip.show. That's right. Oops. Strip.show. All right. We flash again. And if this works, then, which it looks like it is, so good stuff. So I should now be able to set, once that comes back online, which one did I flash? Number one? If I set mode to 7. Is it still flashing? No, it's still going. Gotta give it time. While I am waiting for that, I'm gonna figure out, let's figure out who to raid here in a little bit as we wrap up. That is taking its time today. Oh man, let's see. Who is online that I can raid? Raimu, let's see, who's in the Science and Technology channel? Hey, Raimu's online today? Okay. Robert Tables, yeah, so this is Particle Workbench I'm using. So all of the commands that I'm running right here are actually in, not there. So this is Particle Workbench. So that's what I've been using really since pre-alpha released it. Do you do cloud flash deploy or local flash deploy? It depends on the device. So for all of these devices on the wall behind me, I am doing, I'm going to go back to brief mode. For all these devices behind me, I'm actually doing cloud flashing because they're on the wall and they're not physically connected to my computer. But I do local flashing when I have a device that's actually connected via USB and I want to turn it, like mess with it faster. The one difference, and I didn't really highlight this, is I do local compilation when I get an error, when I want to just validate that the firmware works before flashing. So that's what I was doing a minute ago, was actually trying to run to see what my error was because I wasn't really getting a good error earlier from the cloud compiler. So that's an area where there's probably still some rough edges that need to be smoothed out in terms of how the cloud flash piece works inside of Workbench. But I do both. Right now, primarily cloud flashing for these devices. And that one on the wall is still being weird. I'm gonna go reset this one behind me real quick. Hey, Robert Tables, I don't remember, but I ran into some kind of issue with the stream on stream with Particle Workbench. Yeah, I think I heard you mention that. If you run into it again on stream, like I'll try to be there and see if I can help them. But if not, if you run into it off stream or I miss it, let me know what it is you're running into. I'm happy to help. It's not perfect yet. I definitely will admit it's not perfect yet. But it's been really nice to get to. I mean, I love using VS Code, period, and I use it across a bunch of different languages. But it's been really nice to have it for particle development, for sure. And Frackberg, I've used the CLI, but I believe that's still going through my cloud login actually pushed to the device. It is when you do Flash. So there in the CLI, if you use the particle CLI, you can actually do particle Flash and use this USB flag to flash a device that's actually connected, right? Or you could do particle serial flash, and it does the same thing. It actually it will do a local flash, but you provide the binaries from there. So by default, when you do particle flash, it does use the cloud, but if you pass in those flags, you can do local flashing as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try fire now, and I think that'll be a good stopping point if I get it working. Probably still a good stopping point, even if I didn't. Did it actually work? I should see if my device number 1 actually comes back online. I feel like I'm getting some weird false positives. Yeah. Yeah, you got to set up the CLI and put it in a container for sure. Heck yeah, that's a great idea. All right. Let me try flashing this one last time. It says it's doing number 1. All right, so I'm not getting any indication that the flashing is actually happening here, which stinks. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's failed. It's saying it failed. No. One more time. Let's try one more time. I will not accept what just happened. Cloud flash. Strips to 1. All right, flash started. But I'm not. Oh, all right. I think it's coming back online. Success. I like seeing success. It's restarting, offline, coming online. Now I should be able to make fire happen on that bottom strip now. Fire! Fire! Yes! That is so satisfying. Fire! Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Heck! That's right. So, all right. So that is what we're going to do on all 4 strips. That is baller as hell. That looks so good. Triple kapow. Always coming through.com. Thank you. I love it when we get stuff working like right at the end of the stream, so I can be like, count it, I'm out, let's go. All right, so I feel good about that. That's basically across all 4 strips gonna be, oh, Robert Tables, that's hilarious. Like Tom Hanks in Castaway. I have created fire! I'm gonna, I gotta end it there. I'm already late. Another meeting. But, so I'm gonna put that on all 4 strips, and that's what we're gonna work on Thursday. 2 things on Thursday I'm thinking about. I wanna get that working on subs and follows and all that. And then, yeah, thanks. That's right, Frackberg. And now I couldn't, y'all encouraged me. I appreciate it. I want to do that on Thursday, and then I think on Thursday too, let's actually get that NVIDIA Jetson Nano configured and do some machine learning stuff with that device as well. So that's my plan at this point. It looks like Rymu8354 is online doing some game development. I know he streams a lot, but thank y'all for coming and hanging out today. And we're going to raid over into Rymu's stream and hope y'all have a great rest of the day. Monday, I will see you all on other streams this week. And I look forward to hanging out and having a good time. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.